Hey guys, what's going on? I'm excited. Whew, it's been a long day. But so you guys know what we're doing here, right? We are about to talk business with Old Mutual, like on the money. Hansi Tangaika. Hey, we're getting there. Tiripo Magadi Henyu. I'm good, boss. I think that's Joe. Hey, it's been a long day, long day. Hey, Gage, what's up, buddy? Alrighty. Alright, so I'm just waiting for Old Mutual to join, and then rather Patrick, and then we'll kick it off. Hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are having a good day, and yeah. I'm not doing. There we go. There we go. Alrighty. Brother,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. You know what? This network is making me proud right now.
It has been good for the past couple of days.
You know, I guess this was meant to be then.
It was. Sorry to keep you hanging. But just when I was joining in, I heard you talking about waiting for me. I'm not sure what was going on my side, but it wasn't showing that you were live.
Nah, no worries, brother. That's fine. That's totally fine. I wish I could
Great.
wave at everyone, but hi, guys. Alrighty.
Okay. I'm not sure how have you initiated the conversation? Have you spoken to your people? I know there are people that are joining in mainly because they're there today.
I just said, hey guys, waiting for Mutual to join, but I hope you guys are having a good day. And then yeah, and then some of them said Tangaika, it's not data. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, okay, no, let's get to it. I know that data issues are always a big problem. But before we start, could you just allow me to make one announcement? Because there's a challenge that we had run some time ago, and we had asked people to tag one another, and there are a couple of winners that I'll just like to announce now.
Yeah, awesome. Go for it.
If that's all right. Okay, great. So we've got winners from our Instagram page, winners from our Facebook page, and then there are also winners from our Twitter page. And the names are as follows. On Instagram, we've got Martin Tindai and Datenda Kutuza. And then on Facebook, I've got Shailet Chiwayu and then Romeo Maramwidze. And then on Twitter, I've got Martin Chibanda and Lionel _ YDE. Those are the 6 winners that we have. And if you could just get in touch with us, either on the platforms that you are tagging, or if you could just inbox us on our Old Mutual page, so that we could make arrangements for that team to collect their prizes, or so that we could see how we could get the prizes to them. So please do get in touch with us so we know how it's going on your ends. And thank you so much for participating. So we could just jump straight into our conversation for today. I'm sure everyone that has logged in knows you already, and I'm not sure if you'd want to introduce me, or I could just go straight to asking my questions.
You know what? I'm going to put you on the spot. How about you introduce yourself? How about that?
Okay. Well, those of the viewers that normally follow us on the Facebook page would know me, but then there could be new guys that are following you on your pages now. And my name is Patrick Masego, and I work for Old Mutual, largely with the marketing team on this financial management desk. So the program that we are running is called On the Money. It's a financial education program that basically teaches people how to better manage their finances. So there are 5 pillars under which we run, and they're based on the big 5 animals that you'd find largely in Africa. You've got the elephant, the lion, the rhino, and the buffalo, and the leopard. So these are the 5 animals that we'll be dealing with, and then you look at each of the characteristics of these animals, and then we link it to financial management, how these animals conduct themselves, and then we just make parallels with financial management. So that's basically what this On the Money program is about. And in the shows that we have, we're just looking at meeting people like yourselves that have just got, you know, following and, you know, influence in either your age group or other spheres of influence, just to get you to come on board. We have these conversations, real life conversations, and they started now because of the COVID pandemic that we find ourselves in. And then just get to find out how you're doing. But my structure for the conversation today is going to take a slightly different approach, because normally we would ask on the money questions just straight up. But now, because I'm told, or I've seen also from your social media pages, that you're a serial entrepreneur, I'm just going to change the whole, you know, playing ground, and then ask you to answer the questions from that perspective. Now, you're a serial entrepreneur, and I just need you to just come in and then tell me how you've been handling it from that side of things, that the layperson or the person that probably wants to get into entrepreneurship can better understand how best they can do it.
All right.
Is that cool?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, great stuff. So maybe we could just kick off by you telling us about a little more about yourself, but focusing more on the entrepreneurship side of how you handle yourself.
Okay, cool. So some people may or may not know, my name is Willard Kachere. I am 27 now, old as you can see. But yeah, so the word serial just means a lot. So I have a lot of startups, and this is because I used to try and do everything. I was passionate about a lot of things, but I wanted to do everything until I got to a point where I decided to stick to a few things and then actually branch out and collaborate. That's how I've actually survived in this environment, and you know, with the COVID going on. Because I mean, you can have so many ideas, because when you're exposed, you see so many things, and you obviously want to bring it back home. I mean, Zimbabwe being a third world country, I was based in Australia, so I saw a lot of things that I wanted to bring home. But at some point, I realized that I wasn't passionate enough. I wasn't passionate enough um, about everything that I was trying to do. So what I ended up doing was I started. That's where the whole venture capitalist came about. I started looking for people that were in certain fields, like, so take for example real estate. There's an idea I saw in Australia that I brought back to Sydney, and I'm now working in collaboration with a real estate agent. He is really passionate about what he does. I know he lives and he breathes real estate. So all I did was I partnered up with him. I told him what I was thinking, and then now he gets to implement it. So it's a win-win. I gave him a good idea that he's going to make money off, and I'm going to make money off. But I don't have to be directly involved, because I would definitely burn out, as Tendi Moons just said. Because that's a point where I used to reach a lot, where I would burn out. I would just crash most of the time, because most of the time I wasn't sleeping, and you know, there was just so much stress. It was heavy for me. But hey, fast forward now, the startups that I'm passionate about, those are the ones that I run on a day-to-day basis. And now I've let someone else take care of the responsibilities of all the other ideas that I had seen, but I'm not passionate about. Because if you're passionate about something, for you to quit, it's really hard. So that's what I figured, and that survived throughout this COVID season. You know, it's just collaboration. Collaboration is key. I believe that collaboration is the new currency, especially in our home country, Zimbabwe. Collaboration is key, because there's someone out there who's got something that you need. It's just that you just have to reach out. You just have to reach out and, you know, be willing to collaborate. And I'm going to say this before we get deep into it. For me, collaboration always meant, oh, I'm losing half or more than half of my company to someone else, you know. But when it's your baby, you feel like, you know what, it's my baby, I can't lose half of it. But my friend then said to me, you know what, it's better you own 10% of an elephant than 100% of an ant. That statement changed my life. It changed my life. So ever since that day, collaboration is key. I support local, you know, because also, you know, it's all about supporting, you know, where you come from. You know, obviously charity begins at home. So I have a lot of collaborations, you know, with people in Zim. Most of my collaborations are actually from Zimbabwe. And yeah, so that's where we're at. So that's where the serial entrepreneur part comes in, because I've just have so many things going on with so many different people. But it's been great, to say the least. especially during this COVID season. And I guess we'll talk more on that later when I explain how our business has been great during COVID.
Okay, great. You know, you spoke a lot about collaboration, and I really like that. I did see Tendi Moons actually highlighted it and said collaboration is key, and that if you don't collaborate, you're likely to burn out. But I just want to find out now from you also, because you spoke about the serial nature of your entrepreneurship, but for you, what do you think it is? Is it nature or nurture? Do you think that entrepreneurs are born or they're made? I know this question comes up a lot, especially in these circles, but is it in someone's genetic makeup to actually be an entrepreneur, or it's something that people can be taught?
I think it's something that can be taught. Why I say this is because when I was grade 6, that's when my father gave me like true responsibility, and it wasn't even business-wise. So I'll just backtrack and get a little bit personal. So in grade 6, my father was working in Kwekwe. My mom was working in Harare. We were learning at Goldridge in Kwekwe, but then our main house was in Kadoma. So traveling between Kadoma and Kwekwe every day, that's something my dad could do. But for school kids that are young, I mean, we did it for a while, but my dad decided to get us a house in Kwekwe. So now I started staying with my little brother. So my little brother was 4 years younger than me, and I used to take care of his homework and everything. So through that responsibility, when my dad then figured, you know what, I'm actually doing it so well, what he then did was, contract lines back then in the 2000s were a big thing. So he gave me a contract line and he told me, on this number, my phone calls come in. So when I'm not available, you're the one who has to answer the calls. I want you to be giving out instructions as I tell you. So in the beginning, I was giving out all the instructions that my dad was telling me. And then in the end, he trusted me to make small decisions. And from there, I was like, you know what? I really like this thing. I didn't know what it was, because back then we used to call it businessmen. I want to be a businessman like my dad. So,
Yes.
yeah. So I just wanted to be a businessman like my dad, because it seemed like he owned his time. He could do whatever, and everyone else was just working for him. So in the end, he just started giving me more and more responsibilities. For a very young, like I was grade 6, having a contract line back then was a big thing. So I had to learn how to be responsible with the contract line, because the bills were just crazy and all that. And then, just in learning what he was doing. And then now dad didn't even have to be there. He'd just be like, okay, I need you to take care of ABC. So by the time I was 16 and I was on my O-level break, I was now running his mind. I was now, learning the ins and outs of, what he does. And then I started, crazy enough, I started learning. I was just passionate about fixing phones. So, because I like fixing things. I don't like paying for things that I can do for myself. And my phones were the biggest issue. All I did was I went and I learned how to fix phones. So every time my phone wasn't performing well at school, I even got the little toolkit. Because I'd seen someone else do it and I was taught to do it, I started fixing my own phones, to a point where sometimes I could actually fix my friends' phones and make them pay. And then I just figured, this is actually low-key a business. And then from there, the rest is history. It started with small things, and then that's how we ended up here, to be honest. So I think, I don't think you're born with it. I don't think you're born with it. I think it's nurtured into you because you're living, the surroundings. The surroundings affect you. The same way, if you've got people that are close to you, sometimes even when you talk, you then figure out, this is not how I talk. It's how my friend talks. So I think if you just absorb it as you go, and with maturity and everything, you just kind of figure it out, and then you can build the mental stamina to be a businessman or an entrepreneur, whichever way you want to call it. You then build certain staminas that will help you just propel through the business industry. So yeah, that's my answer to your question.
Okay, thanks. You spoke at length, and you mentioned quite a mouthful in terms of what you thought about entrepreneurs being born or made. But I'd also want to find out that whether you are born or made as an entrepreneur, what do you think are the key financial skills that you need to have in order to be successful at it?
Okay, risk management. Risk management is key. You have to learn how to manage risk. The process. See, the thing is with entrepreneurship, the process, it's a long process. It's a draining process. It's a stressful process.
Mm-hmm.
So, before we even get to risk management, first of all, I know it's not a financial skill, but your mind, that's where it starts. It's all in the head. So for me, that's why I take mindset seriously, because every single day I have to make
Okay.
sure that I grow in one way or the other. Because once you've built your mental stamina and you're good to go, your mindset is key, then you're good to go. Why I say that is because even when things get tough, you're not going to quit. If you make losses, you already understand. Your mind is programmed to understand that you have to fall in love with losses. Because from there you then learn. You become radically open-minded. Your mind is developed. So, and then from there, the mindset, and then now with the financial skills, we're talking risk management. Risk management is key
Mm-hmm.
because you need to know what you're getting yourself into, right? You also need to practice just practicality. You need to be practical. I've heard of so many schemes where people are being offered 50% over a period of 2 weeks, and there's no product involved. It's just money movement. That's a Ponzi scheme,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So you have to be well versed with what's going on, what's going on around, and you just have to trust the person. I mean, I could list, I could list a whole lot of financial skills, but some of the skills you don't even need to have them, because there are people that are well versed in those areas that you could employ or consult. So even like just accounting,
Mm-hmm.
accounting in general, you need to account for every single cent in your business. You need to know that if you make profits, you have to invest back into the business. You need to know how much you're investing back into the business. You need to know how much you're putting aside for a rainy day. You always need a contingency plan. You need to know you don't have to risk everything on one deal or one investment, stuff like that. I could go on, but at the same time, I feel like it's important that, because no one is born with all these skills. You have to look around, find people that are well versed in areas, learn from them,
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you also need to be able to be someone who can actually risk. It's okay if you lose. It's totally fine. Be okay with losing. And I like Tendi Moons um, in the comments there. He's really putting out some good points, because also patience is key. Um, even though it's not a
Yes.
financial skill, patience is definitely key. You need to know that, okay, if I make this investment, I need to be patient for this long. And whilst I'm being patient, I need to learn that when the money comes, this is what I'm going to do. So planning, so it's not just financial skills, it's a lot, because, the planning, the foundation of your business, how you are trying, the culture of your business. There's so
Mm-hmm.
much that revolves around, being an entrepreneur. That's not financial skills, but I guess you asked about financial, but hey, those are the few that I can point out now. Otherwise, I'll be talking forever.
I know, I know. There's quite a lot to say, but not only on the financial skills, because my next question actually wants to do with what your most valuable skill is. If you could just touch on maybe one or two of the most valuable skills that you have as an entrepreneur. I know you spoke at length about the financial ones, and some of the viewers actually talking about patience and all these other skills that could be coming up. But what do you value the most? What do you say is your most valuable skill?
I think my most valuable skill has to be, first, I think mindset. Mindset is definitely a skill. I think it's a skill because
Mm-hmm.
not everyone can do it. And I think integrity. Integrity simply meaning doing the right thing even when no one is watching. In business, that's very important. Some people miss out on opportunities simply because when people are watching, they are top notch, they're on point. But when no one is watching, they're just a mess.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for me, those are my top two. Mindset and integrity. Those are my biggest. Nothing beats those. So yeah.
I like that mindset is at the top of your list, because if you think about it, actually, you'll find that there's no way that you can go out and conquer the world before you conquer the self. I mean, if you defeat yourself mentally already, then there's no way that you can go out and tackle any problem. So
Yeah.
mindset really is key. Then integrity obviously follows, because there's no one that wants to do business with anyone that they don't trust.
Yeah.
So thank you for highlighting those things. But now, zeroing in the way that you manage your finances, how do you personally take charge of your finances?
I know where every single dollar goes. I know where my money goes. I know where it's at. And I know who I give money to. I know who I borrow money from. I know what's going on in my business. Even though I've got people who do it for me, I still know what's going on. Obviously, when the companies become bigger, I won't be able to keep track. But I'll surely look at the financial statements and figure out what's going on, stuff like that. Because I want to know, are we making progress or not? Because have you ever noticed how people will someone will run a business for 2 years and it seems like they have not moved at all? Simply
At all?
because,
Yeah.
yeah, because at some point, as you scale up as a business, you need to know what to scale down on. You don't need as much as you were purchasing before, depending on what industry you're in. If you don't know your finances like that, at some point you achieve economies of scale, which is where you're producing less per unit cost. But then because you can't hide the fact that we can't be oblivious to the fact that people steal. You know what I mean? People will steal from you and stuff. So you have to obviously have your eyes open, because people will keep ordering the same amount. If you are using 10 kgs of producing something, and then now you've achieved economies of scale and you're only supposed to use 7 kgs, they'll continue ordering 10 kgs, because no one is really monitoring where the money is going. So after 2 years, you have not moved. You're still in the same spot. The business is growing, but it's not growing. It's just the same money going round and round and round, and some other people are making money off you. So at the end of the day, yeah, that's really about it. So for me, I know where my money is at. I know where to get the money, and yeah, I budget, but also I don't want to discourage people from keeping money in the bank, but I do not like keeping my money stagnant. I don't like that. Here's why. Back in Australia, I once put $1,000 in a bank account for 12 months.
Okay.
In 12 months, that $1,000, I think I checked my balance and it was like 1,000 and I think it was 1,032. 12 months, $1,032.
12 months.
No, it's a no from me. It's a no. Because in that 12 months, I could have generated more than $32 interest on my money. So I don't like keeping money in the bank. But the money that I keep in the bank is probably for a rainy day, the contingency. Otherwise, I move my money around. It's always busy, because I mean, to become financially free, the money has to be working for you. You don't have to be working for money.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need you to actually hold that thought, because later on I'm going to ask you for advice that you're going to give to anyone else that wants to get into entrepreneurship. So obviously you spoke a lot about that there are certain ways that you can keep your money. Keeping it in the bank probably might not be the best. Then there could be other ways that you can invest your money, either on the stock market, unit trust, or whatever investment vehicles are there that could help your money appreciate more.
Yeah.
So I'll just, like I said, hold the thought, and I'm going to need you to just answer on that later on in our conversation. But now, just to come back home and what has been happening with the COVID situation. I mean, being a serial entrepreneur, obviously, it also implies that you can see or you can identify pockets of opportunity in places or in situations that other people wouldn't really identify them. So would you say that you have identified such pockets of opportunity during this COVID pandemic? What do you think people can get into to help them make more money now?
What works in Zimbabwe that I've seen, it's not very much official, but the thing is, everyone in Zimbabwe can do this, right? It's just that we do it so poorly. That's why we never end up making money. So being a middleman has to be one of the most, I think most Zimbabweans understand being a middleman, but what they don't understand is being greedy. See, here's why. In a deal where someone approaches you, you know someone who knows someone that needs something, right? There are two of you in the middle, right? And let's say there's 10%. There's 10% that you can share. The two middlemen, you can share that 10%. In Zimbabwe, how it usually works is the first person to get the deal, they're going to be told you're going to get 10%. 10% is not enough for them. They're going to put it at 15. They give someone else the deal who's going to add an extra 15 on top. Now there's 30% in the middle. Now the two other businesses involved look at the figures and they think, do we really want to pay 30% extra for something that we can get direct, even though it's a hassle? Do you want to get it direct from the people? Yeah, we'd rather do that. So in the end, we end up losing out. So it's simple. If you're going to be a middleman, I'm speaking for the people of Zimbabwe. Please, Tanzwa, it's too much. And it also, that integrity part, that's what I was saying. Because no one wants to actually tell people, like, look, there's 5 middlemen here, right? We've got 10%. Let's all share 2% and be okay with that. Instead of someone trying to, undercut everyone else or whatever, because they never win. So, I just thought I would address that. I'm not saying that's a way of business that you want to be going down, but let's just address it. And guys, let's keep the Zeno. That's what we call it here. Your cut is the Zeno. Let's keep the Zeno at a minimum. That's the only way we win. But, right, with the whole COVID situation, I think it's basically just looking at what people don't have. So, first of all, website designers around the world this time around made a lot of money simply because businesses were not online, and a lot of people, they didn't even have to make the websites from scratch. Some people don't require websites to be made from scratch. WordPress, Wix have all the templates. So all they had to do was take pictures of the products, put them online, insert payment gateway, business is moving as normal. People made money off that. Simple things like websites. Where to get cheap things that are cheaper. I know in Harare, most people are scared to go downtown, but the same baby soft tissues that you're buying in Pick and Pay, in Food Lovers for an equivalent of $7-8 for just a 4-pack, that's going for $3 downtown. Most people made home businesses out of it. Went downtown, spent $30. You bought 10 of them 4-packs. You come, you sell them at $5. They're still cheaper than the shop. You've made good profits because that's money you didn't have anyway. So simple things like that. Just looking at what's going on, what do people need, And most of the time, people think that you make money off, all these luxurious products. Yeah, fine, you do. But I'll tell you this. You can make more money from a green bar of soap. You can make more money from green bar soap than you make from, the expensive, $100 soap, because you push volumes. And, it's the products that, sorry, what do you call them? Is the word essential goods. Exactly, essentials. That's what people did during the lockdown. That's what there were so many business opportunities during the lockdown, and also simply learning new skills. Anyone who learned how to forex trade during lockdown made a lot of money. I'm saying this because my forex company has been running for 5-6 years now, and we had a lot of students come in who we taught how to, trade in the markets, and they're never going back to work again. they're never going back to it again. So you just have to be very intentional about certain things. It's not about just, jumping on the bandwagon, because I know everyone was like, oh, stocks. Funny story. Remember that oil craze when oil dropped to less than $1 per barrel and everything? What people didn't know were these things are futures. So by futures, we mean they have an expiry date. So 2 days before the future expired, oil dropped to less than $1 per barrel. People invested 10,000, but the future was going to expire, and it continued to fall. And in 2 days, I remember putting this up on Instagram, and I said, "Don't be shocked when oil goes at over $10 a barrel in the next 2 days." People didn't know what I was talking about. The future expired. People lost money, and then oil the very next day after the future expired was back up at, I think it was like $17 per barrel at that point. Why I'm saying this is because don't get into something because everyone else is getting into it. Do your research and figure out your niche or figure out a gap. That's all I do. That's how I became a venture capitalist. I look at the market, I see a gap, I find who's doing it, I go and I invest in that business. Now I own equity in the business. I fund them, and then that's not money in my pocket. I'm not directly involved in the business. I don't know what's going on there. I just need to see the books. I need the numbers to make sense. I need the products to make sense. I need supply and everything to make sense, and I invest in there. So that's all I've been doing this lockdown. That's why I said, to be fair, 2020 has been a good year in business. For some, it's been a bad year in business. For some, it happens. But I hope for those that are watching, they can actually, pick out a few things and go back and rethink. Because, we're still in lockdown. You can still do something. So yeah. Yeah.
Having this conversation with you, it's difficult to interject and to cut you out because, all the points that you're raising actually do make sense because there's a lot that you spoke about in this last contribution that you made. When you spoke about futures in financial markets and all these things, these are instruments that people need to learn and know about and know how to trade. And there are a lot of them that we have that are available, but I'll probably get to the question on financial education a bit later, but you have already touched on some of those things. And then you also spoke about, being the middleman. I think that's where the entire conversation started.
Yeah.
To say when you're the middleman, you'd rather have 2% of a deal that goes through than 50% cut of a deal that doesn't actually take place. So when you just keep adding on as middlemen, the deal might eventually not go through, then everyone loses out at the end. Because what we were trying to highlight now were the opportunities that exist now or that are present in this pandemic. So I think that's one thing that our viewers could note. But also when you're talking about making money, I think it was Arthur 303 that talked about church in the comments. Now, I'm not sure if he's saying that church is one good way of making money. I'll leave it up to him to explain himself. I'm not sure what he meant by that. But
I don't know what he's talking about.
Maybe also just looking at the lockdown restrictions that are currently in place, and how would you say, or what would you say these current restrictions have taught you about the way that you need to manage your money and how you need to handle it? I know that we speak about saving, and if one had saved prior to lockdown, you'd be in a better financial position now. But having gone through it and lived to this point in the lockdown era, what would you say you have taught yourself or you have been taught about how to handle it?
I think people need to be ready. I think that's the one thing that people need to understand. By being ready, I mean there's certain facilities that give you a certain advantage. So take, for example, in Zimbabwe, you already know that if you have US dollars, right, and you're someone who purchases a lot of stuff outside of Zimbabwe, it only makes sense for you to, prior to lockdown, for you to have had some sort of international bank account. If you know you have international payments coming in, have an international bank account. Why I say this is because there are always opportunities where, and these are very legal things, where someone wants to make a payment outside, and then you can simply just exchange. I give you local, you give me international, because that's what moves my business. it's simple things like that. I mean, now good thing is we have the Nostro accounts coming through, which is really good. But at the same time, you also want processing times. So there are all these banks that are ready to give us accounts and, give us a platform where we can be in a good position, because I think that was the worst thing, where goods were still coming in from South Africa. Goods were coming in from around the world. Cargo was still being shipped, but people just did not know how to maneuver around that situation, which was an issue, because now you end up paying someone who's going to move this, like you end up paying someone an extra $100 for them to move $1,000 for you, yet you were only going to pay $10. You've already made a loss of 90 before you even purchase the products. And then when they come here after, after the duty and everything, now your prices need to go up, because now you need to cover all the costs, which becomes a bit of a strain, especially if you already have an existing market. They used to buy your products at this price. So I think there's certain things we could have done before lockdown that would have really helped us all to, just be ready for it. And, they're out there for everybody. For me, it's bank accounts, because I receive payments from different countries, from different people, because most of my companies are, yes, they were started local, but they attack the international market. So I think if you're moving in that zone, then yes. And then if your company is just local, then fair and fine. All you needed to do was make sure to know when to move your money and when not to move your money. Because I mean, we can't hide the fact that cash was a bit of a problem in the beginning. If you needed physical cash to go and get products, then you needed to know where to get the physical cash. There were people who were looking for transfer for cash. You just need to know the sources. Like if you sit down and you map it out, I feel like the reason why I have my pen and my notepad here is because anytime I think of something, I write it down. So write down what you need as a business. Look at the environment you're operating from, and figure it out what you need to do, so that when a rainy day comes, because I know a lot of people will be like, I was like, oh, mom, data. Obviously I get it. But had people sat there and thought, you know what, even if there's no pandemic right now, or if there's nothing going on, if something does happen, what would I need to do if this and that scenario came about? So I do this all the time. I play scenarios in my head about the craziest thing. Like I once thought, oh, what happens if a tsunami comes through? Probably not, because I mean, we're landlocked. But come on, I'm just trying to have my mind open up so that I can pick out those small little things, because that's what makes the difference between those who made money during lockdown and those that are still complaining till now. So I don't know if that makes sense.
It does. But now I just need to tap a little deeper into your international exposure, because obviously the fact that you have had international exposure has opened up your mind to a lot of things. Now, from what you've seen outside of the country and then coming back home, what would you say are the gaps that exist within the financial education in our country? I mean, have you identified or do you know already of gaps that exist in terms of the financial education of Zimbabwean entrepreneurs?
I think in Zimbabwe, what we need to be taught as entrepreneurs is it's okay to diversify. It's okay to actually invest, because most companies stick to one thing and their businesses are all about the same thing. But you see, the thing is, the more people get exposed outside, the more when they come back, they're not interested in your product. So you see that people are interested in your product so much, and then they go outside and then they see the same product but in a different light outside. So you need to constantly evolve. The products need to evolve, the services need to evolve. But then if they don't evolve because you're just stuck on doing the same thing, that becomes an issue for your business. But that also requires money. So it's okay to pour back money into your business to make it better. I think it also comes from having an international mindset. When I start a company, I'm not thinking it's just local. It can start local, but at some point it has to reach all borders. It has to reach all continents. Now that way I actively research and try and see what I need to do because you're not the only one doing it in the world. You're not the first one to do that, to do that thing. Unless if you really are the first, then you can make all the mistakes. But at some point, if you don't catch up, someone else is going to come through and bulldoze right through you. So, when it comes to the financial education, we need to know that it's okay to invest. It's okay to pull back money into the business to diversify. It's okay to integrate your business because outside business systems, they communicate with each other. They connect. We don't have that here. We don't have that here. I'm liking the idea of Munch. You've got Munch, you've got Dollar Delivery, you've got Tazim Eats, you've got all these companies that are coming together now to obviously, do Uber Eats. It's something that we've always had. We had Dollar Delivery from way back, but then it was just stagnant. It was just the same old. Now you go on the Munch app, you can do your groceries, you can do your liquor shopping, you can do your food deliveries and everything. So those sort of things are what we're supposed to do, but obviously it requires money. But obviously a lot of financial education took place there, because for you to then run something like that, it just requires a lot. So ecosystems are something that we need to be taught in them. I feel like ecosystems are something that we definitely need to be taught. When I say ecosystems, I'm simply saying, if let's say, take for example, we've got a sports tourism and entertainment company, Play by Play, right? Play by Play, we manage brands, artists and athletes, right? What's common between artists and athletes? Events, right? We're gonna do events, right? So instead of us going to pay someone else to have a ticketing website, like to host our tickets, to sell our tickets, we've got a ticketing website, right? And then from there, our artists and athletes, they end up having apparel for themselves, so be it's caps, t-shirts and whatever. So what do we have? We've got a sister company that then makes the t-shirts, right? T-shirts, caps, and whatever else. And then we get to a place where our artists and our athletes, there's certain things that they need. So whatever they need, we've made sure that we've strategically placed all these things in our ecosystem, so that when the money comes into the company, whichever way it comes in, we've got everything we need around us. So the money is literally circulating amongst the companies that we have. If we don't learn ecosystems in Zim, I don't think we will go far, because the systems need to connect. So life is easier Play by Play, because Tika by a Play, we just go there. We're sorted at the end of the day. But we don't have that kind of thinking. We really don't. So I feel like ecosystems, that's really something that we need to learn in Zim. So
okay.
Yeah.
I like that, because the issue of ecosystems has come up quite a lot. But another thing that you mentioned was that businesses or entrepreneurs need to learn to invest in their businesses. But I now just want to take it from another angle, given that you're already into venture capital, and to then say that entrepreneurs might also need to learn how to have people investing in their businesses, because I think many a time you'll find that people will not want to share their ideas because they think the ideas will get stolen. And granted, they do get stolen at times. And then sometimes they just don't want people to invest in the business because they think that they'll lose ownership of the business. So I guess education along the lines of the type of ownership and how you can bring in partners into the business and whether they have a say or not on your board, all these things now need to be taught to people to then help them actually bring the ideas to life. So I like that you're actually in the field, and I hope that you can do more, because I was going to ask you what you think can be done about the gaps that you've identified. And given that you're already a motivational speaker, you're already into venture capital, maybe you could just talk more about what else needs to be done to plug the gaps that you have identified in the ecosystem, so to speak.
Okay, so I'm going to say this. People are afraid, simple things like non-disclosure agreements. Simple document, but very powerful. I tell you something and you tell someone else, I'm going to sue you. You owe me. You owe me. You know, simple things like that. And I want everyone here, you know, I'm not using this as a platform to promote play by play, but I want people to follow play by play as we unleash. I'm going to say it here, even though most people don't know. We just signed a partnership with an intellectual property law firm. By intellectual property, we mean we protect your ideas. Now we've got people who protect ideas. So there are people like that that are readily available to guard your ideas. So if you're afraid that someone's going to steal your idea, get those lawyers involved. Get that non-disclosure agreement. Let them know that the stipulations are so high that if they open their mouth, they're going to get into trouble. That's number one. So that's where you protect yourself, so that you can actually tell someone, you know, exactly what it is you want to do. The reason why most people then don't invest in our business, because I'm going to say this in Shona, you don't give someone the full picture. For me as a venture capitalist, if I come and I ask you, okay, what is it you're trying to do? And then if there's no non-disclosure agreement, fair and fine, I'm going to keep my integrity as a businessman. But if you then feel scared to then let me know everything about the business, then suggested that we sign a non-disclosure. If not, I will do it. But if we don't, still, let me know what you need so that I can be of help to you. Because we can't sit down for a meeting, you give me a quarter of the cake, but I don't know if I give you $5,000, how much am I going to get at the end of 6 months, a year? I don't know what you're using that money for. I don't know where your company is at right now. Am I investing in a company that's already in debt? Am I investing in a company that's already moving in profits? Is it stuff like that? Those are things that we need to know as entrepreneurs and venture capitalists to be able to invest in other people's businesses. So it's not that people don't like you. No. It's not that people don't want to invest in your business. No. You're not giving them enough a reason to invest in your business. And also, another thing is overstating numbers. Don't overstate numbers. Don't overstate numbers. Because if you come to me with the document, with a proposal that has overstated numbers, when I give it to my financial analysts, they're going to look at it and say, boss, no. It's a big no. It doesn't make sense. For the past 3 years, this company has not even turned over $1,000, and all of a sudden, you're going to make 10,000 this year. How? What has changed? You know, are the forces of demand and supply allowing this? You know, what's going on here? Does it make economic sense? Where in the COVID period, all of a sudden, when things were normal, this business couldn't even turn over $100. They're in debt. But now they're saying to you, if you put in 10,000, you're going to make 20,000 in the next 6 months. How? It doesn't make sense. Be truthful about your business, because for me, it's more the passion. If I see the passion you have, and I believe my gut, if I feel it in my gut that you are not going to quit, I'm going to bet on you. I'm going to give you the money. You're going to, run your business. And in the end, if we're both patient enough, something good will come out of it. But if you lie to me and you overstate your numbers and anything, I'm going with my money, or me and my investors are going with our money, that your business will stay exactly where it is. So yeah.
True. I hear what you're saying, and I'm also looking at our time now, and I'm fearing that Instagram might cut us out after an hour.
Okay.
So we'll just have to be cognizant of that. It's about probably have about 5 minutes left. But there's something that I just need you to answer for me, because how would you approach financial management from an entrepreneur's perspective, and apply it to an individual? A lot of the stuff that you've been talking about is to the effect that, you need to invest venture capital and all these things. And as an entrepreneur, you know that you need seed capital to run your business. You also need sufficient runway to carry your business through a certain period of time. But now you're looking at the lay person in the street that's not an entrepreneur and still needs to find money to put food on the table. They still need money to get from month A to month B. So when you're looking at the financial management aspect of an entrepreneur, how would you then apply that to the individual on the street?
Okay. Let me address where people where people are in different positions in life, right? You need to know where you're at. So for the guy in the street, right, it's unfortunate that you're in that situation. But if you're able to work, then let's apply what we call sweat equity. Why? If I go and I offer my services to a firm, right, that deals in things that I want to deal with, I know I can't get in there direct because I don't have the qualifications, or maybe there's just something lacking. But if I come to them and I say, look, what I can offer you is sweat equity. I can come and work for you for free. All I want to do is learn. I just want to follow you around, and I just want to learn things. I want to get into this realm one day. I want to get into this business, and you learn. That will be very advantageous to you in the future, in the near future, in the long term, because you are learning. At least you're doing something about it. Because the thing is, most people just say, my connections. You don't, yes, you do need connections sometimes, but sometimes it's all a matter of you just applying yourself, getting yourself in the right space. Attend events. So many of these business events, I've met so many amazing people, from just linking up with people. Right now, I'm at the country club in Newlands. This is my new home. These guys, I met them, at some event that I had no business being there. I had no business being there, but I was there. Ended up talking to them, and they said, "Hey, look, we're looking for people like A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D." Yesterday we signed, and this is my new home. It's not that, it's not that I was at a point of advantage. No, because we're all at the same event. But then I just decided to talk to people, connect. So no matter where you're at in life, because I know for most people it's my connection and everything. It's okay, because sometimes even the people with connections also go through the struggles. There are different struggles, but a struggle is a struggle, because we go through it differently, but it's still a struggle. So now when it comes to financial management, and for a person in the street, look, there are so many ways to go around certain things. But what I'm going to say is, all you need to do is start small.
Okay.
If you can start big, that's totally fine. But get yourself the education in the sense that not even like tertiary education or like school. Find out things. Do you know that Empower Bank is giving out loans for youths? You just need to have a business registered and ABCD. Go and get that. Those are things that are there to help you. There's so many facilities around. There are all these business hubs. Do you know that Stanbic has a business hub where you can go and work and network with people for free? Go there, network with people, learn a new skill, talk to someone, tell them what you do, show them what you're passionate about, and get connected. Put the money aside first and try and figure out what you can do with what you have, and then look for the money later. Because I know people that have just always been passionate about certain things. They've got a laptop at home and they just, do everything that they are passionate about, and it doesn't go anywhere. But when presented with an opportunity, they can be able to be like, hey, this is what I've been working on. You know what I mean? So, and thank you, Tatienda. Thank you, Tatienda. LinkedIn, simple things like LinkedIn, it's crazy because I don't understand how everyone says, hey, I've got a business plan. But the plan is in the head. If I come to you at an event and you tell me, hey, I want to start ABCD, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flick you my business card and tell me as soon as you get home, send me your business plan. If you don't have it in your head, are you going to make it over one night? You're not going to make it over one night. And if I don't get it tomorrow, what's going to happen? I'm not going to be interested, because by the time we hit 2-3 days, I'm not interested anymore. I've probably forgotten. So it's more of you being, and then we then come in and then we help you, and just looking at it, there's so many people that have helped, and it's not even on a financial basis. It's even as simple as go to someone that you think does business so well and just say to them, look, I'm having problems creating a business plan. What can I do?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you in there. because I think I'm still looking at my time and I'm thinking that we could run out of it, and I really need you to sign off properly when we're going to, when just, for the sake of the viewers. But I like everything that you've highlighted in the last contribution that you made, and I'll sum it all up by saying that, as an entrepreneur or someone on the street, just show up. This whole idea of having an idea in their head and not wanting to present it, or not volunteering and offering your service so that people can know what it is that you actually do, is just not going to work. And a lot of people think that they can't do work pro bono. So you just show up, do the work, let people know what you're capable of doing, and you'll always be signed up later. Referrals come that way. But I think we might just need to end the conversation here, and I'll just need you to sign off to the viewers and the followers. And I'll just personally like to thank you a lot for allowing us into your space today and into your feed. As Old Mutual, we love these opportunities where we can just come, speak entrepreneurship, speak financial education. And obviously, I'll just like to refer people to our website, particularly the winners of the previous tag competitions that we had, to say, just go and don't forget to leave us your details. And just come on board and see what we have to offer in terms of a financial education program. And you could learn more from all the programs that we have. And I look forward to having another conversation with you. But I'll give this time to you now to just sign off and thank the viewers.
See, guys, what I'm about to say to Patrick is how you attack opportunity. So, Patrick, I'm looking forward to be a part of your team that's going to be teaching financial education. I'm looking forward to the next live that you're going to invite me on so that I can speak, because I've got so much more to say. I can tell. I am looking forward to collaborations with Old Mutual, because I feel like you guys listen. You guys have me here because you guys have identified that there's a gap in the market that needs to be filled. You guys are trying to help us. So I'm looking forward to collaborating with you guys so that we can bring that guy from the street with the great idea, and bring it to life, and I'm saying this now because, guys, I just shot my shot at Old Mutual. Now I've put them on the spot. Now the ball is in their court. See, it's something as simple as this. I'm recording this because I know at some point I'm going to replay this and be like, guys, remember what I said on that live back then? These guys have now called me in. I'm now a part of Old Mutual. It's simple things like this. Did it take anything away from me? No. But I've started the conversation. I've initiated the conversation. And that's all I do. So, guys, with that being said, thank you so much for joining. You guys need to follow the On the Money series from Old Mutual. You guys need to follow Old Mutual ZW right away. Straight after this, you guys participate, because these guys are here to help you. They're doing this because they care. They don't have to, but they really do. And as for me, my end, all I'm going to say to you guys is all you have to do is start. No matter if you have the money, and I will say this on every podcast I get on every live I get on, all you have to do is start. No matter where you're from, no matter your color or whatever, just start. Be ready to work. Don't think that you're going to make $1 million over 24 hours. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't work that way. Fall in love with the process, and again, what goes in is what goes out. Garbage in, garbage out. So whatever you consume is what's going to build your mind. It's going to build your mental stamina. It's going to build the way you carry yourself. And also you need to know you. You need to know you. That's the biggest thing. Know yourself. Know your limits, know what you can do, so that if someone puts you on the spot and says, who are you and what can you do, you can answer that question confidently and be ready to attack whatever assignment or anything that's put in your path. As for me, that's all I got to say. Otherwise, I'll continue talking, as you can tell. But hey, look, I appreciate Old Mutual. I appreciate you guys so much. I have nothing but love for Old Mutual now. And
thank you so much.
I'm pretty sure you guys, before we go, 825, is that you guys? 825, 3 Anchor House, is that you guys?
We should be talking about this offline, eh?
Oh, really?
But we're definitely going to talk about it.
Yeah, no, because I wanted to encourage people to go and check it out. I've never seen a hub like that in Zimbabwe.
We're going to get there.
All right, Clark. Thanks, man. I
Don't
appreciate
let the cat out of the bag. All right, we'll talk more, but thank you so much for having us.
it. No worries, buddy. Cheers. You take care.
All right, cheers. Take care of yourself too, hey?
Cheers.
Bye.